OutRun. What can we say about it? It's a game in a class all its own. To understand, OutRun was not meant as a racing game, at least says its creator. It was meant as a driving game. The difference is subtle, but basically the idea is that the creator wanted you to experience the thrill of driving without having competition or, really much in the way of a goal other than to get as far as you can before the timer runs out. It was originally an arcade game. To start off with, I'm going to be playing the Genesis version. Now this is the famous magical sound shower track, just about what everybody thinks is the best track from this game. The music was a huge focus in this game. It was unique for its time in the fact that it included 4 different audio tracks and allowed you to choose between them. It was also unique for this. The fact that you actually get to choose what course you're on in a realistic manner. You actually choose divergences in the road. I'm really bad at this. I'm just gonna say that right out. Oof, that looked painful. The issue I have with it is I'm used to actual 3D racing games. This uses scaling to fake 3D, and the effects of that, while, impressive for their time, they lead to a driving game that does not really simulate physics very well, and it's really hard to turn in the right way, in a way that you would expect driving a car at these speeds. That's really the issue I have. Ow! So, if I recall correctly, I don't get much past stage 2 in this. There are remakes of this game, modern 3D remakes, and I will be playing those after this. And you're gonna say, hold it, isn't this game Sid hasn't played for years? Well, to be honest, I'd actually never played the remakes at all before making this video. So, I guess it counts. I mean, if infinite years is years, me entering in my sad, low score there. Alright. Okay, so coming up next is OutRun 2 SP. There we go. I'm going to select the Testarossa because that's the classic car. And as you'll see, it's a very faithful recreation of the original idea in true 3D. And it has remixes of the original music, as you're about to see. And some of the originals, at least the arcade originals. You can already tell these are better than the Genesis quality ones. I'm going to go with the arcade magical sound shower. Now, as you can already see, it uses the same idea where there's a divergence in the road, and you have to choose which way to go. In this one, however, it does tell you which routes are harder and which are easier. Now, the physics in this are still very, very arcadey. They're very much not real car physics, but they're actually easier than driving a real car at these speeds, instead of being harder. There is a drift move in this game. I actually didn't figure that out until a fair way into this video. It's kind of hard to pull off because unlike other games where you drift and you might tap the brake while still holding accelerate, you actually have to switch between accelerate and brake for a split second and back. Which is probably more realistic, but it makes it far more difficult to pull off in the way you want to. Also, it's very hard to control your car after a drift. Now, like I said, this is pretty much the same idea. Race as far as you can, as fast as you can within the given time limit. You know, choose your routes and all that stuff. As you can see, there is kind of a racing idea. You have rivals, but there's an infinite number of them. You don't place up. They just give you more points if you pass them. I'm taking the easy route here. And that's the drift that I didn't figure out until that point. And I abuse it wholeheartedly from that point on because it makes the corners that much easier. It's amazing, really. You know, the difference in technology. The reason they didn't have such a move in the original was not only because, you know, it wasn't done back then, but just because the technology wouldn't have allowed it. I mean, that's actual movement in three-dimensional space. Yeah. Checkpoint!
How far are you going to take me?
To the moon, baby. Bang, pow, zoom, to the moon. Now, this game was made in around, I believe it was 2004. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is OutRun 2 SP, and I believe it was made around 2004. And it's a little under-impressive for 2004. It's a little, you know, the car is really shiny, but the environment is kind of dull and repetitive.
Congratulations!
And that's the end. Alright, so as you can see, I can actually complete an entire goal in OutRun 2, whereas in the original OutRun I can barely complete 3 stages. And now this is OutRun 2006. The third OutRun game. It also actually contains OutRun 2 SP, but we're playing the actual OutRun 2006 now. I'm going through the music. It has all the original tracks. It has these Euro remixes that I like a lot. I think I go with a Euro remix of Splash Wave, yeah. Now, the disappointing thing about this is that they are pretty much the exact same engine. The car selection is much greater, the tracks selection is greater, but the game itself is pretty much the same engine, looks pretty much the same, and you gotta figure, from the year here, this was made in 2006, and it just doesn't look like it. And yes, that is an Enzo Ferrari. Yes, I used to cheat to get all the cars from the game. So what? You might notice these are essentially the same tracks, same courses, I mean, that we went through on the OutRun 2 SP section. Yeah. There's no nice way to put that. I mean, essentially, they repackaged a game, added more cars, added more songs, and this is basically just OutRun 2 SP. And for some reason I forgot that you can drift for a while. As you can see with me slamming into walls repeatedly. And there you go, that's drifting. She loves me because I passed that minivan. Woo! Yeah, I'm beating up this car, something fierce. Ow!
What are you doing?
And yeah, that's one other thing that OutRun 2 SP and OutRun 2006 both add that's very authentic to the original, is the overblown, rather fantastic crash animations. Instead of the original, though, where it would be whenever you hit an object, they're a little nicer with them.
Checkpoint. How far are you going to take me?
You already asked that, honey. Oh wait, that was the last game. And how is it that a Testarossa in front of me is actually outclassing me when I am at top speed? How is that even possible? I'm in an Enzo fucking Ferrari here.
Checkpoint. I'm gonna go ahead.
And that was the OutRun series. Thank you for watching Sid's games he hasn't played in years. Go! And none of you will get that reference.